Shy Bro, Father James with Father Hank Lyon.
Hey.
Here to talk about anger. Anger, something we are all familiar with. Do you get angry, Father Hank? Actually, let me answer that for you, Father Hank.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. You actually don't get angry a lot. I've had many opportunities to enrage you, whether it's beating you constantly in Monopoly Deal or in pickleball or
basically the
not letting you finish your sentences or thoughts, and you don't get angry. Whereas internally, I am like strangling things. But do you get angry, Father Hank?
I loved the quote from the Hulk in the Avengers when he finally figures out his power. He says, "I thought when you get angry," he's like, "Nope, I'm always angry now." And then he can control the beast within.
I kind of like that.
How to live with your anger, maybe.
How to live with your anger. St. Paul says that, and as this is what got me into the topic here. Just get some little background music, some soothing Elton John music. This is from Ephesians 4:26-27. St. Paul says, "Be angry, but do not sin." And here we go. "Do not let the sun go down on your anger, and do not leave room for the devil." End quote.
To work on you.
Yeah, so don't let the sun go down on me. Think about that. We can get angry, but not let that anger get to sin. There is a holy anger versus an unholy anger. I don't know if this is the Elton John, George Michael combo. You know this song, don't you?
I think so.
Yeah, it's a great one. So anyways, let's talk about it here. Do you have something to say before I read another quote or any initial thoughts on anger?
Well, I do like that quote from St. Paul with, don't let the devil work, give him a chance to work on you. So I think the initial thing when we feel anger is like, oh no, I'm already sinning. But I think it's a fair emotion to have, especially if there's an injustice, if something, if someone cuts you off when driving. It's like, I feel this anger, but then it's such a powerful emotion. It's like, well, what do I do with it then? How do I begin to process it or think about it? Sometimes in the extended thinking about our anger, that's where the devil has an opportunity to twist things. Or, if I get frustrated, Father James, he picked that movie. I didn't want to watch that movie, and I said I didn't want to watch that movie.
I will kill you. No, I'm kidding.
Then if I fester on that, is the devil going to give an opportunity of he's just always been a selfish person. He is selfish, and I'm the righteous one. It's like, no, wait a minute. Father James is my friend. It's just a movie choice. There'll be other movies. So to be angry, but then what do you do with it? How do you change the dialogue in your mind?
Yeah, there we go. Don't let the sun go down in the anger. Yes, got to pray with it. Otherwise, it'll fester into resentment and a cold bitterness. But I think that's a good point. We don't have to go through life just spineless, placid, no emotional people. We can have emotions, but you don't want it to sink deeper into sin. And praying through that really helps, I think, shine light on, okay, is this a reasonable anger? Is this unreasonable? Is this just me being petty? Or is there a genuine injustice occurring here that I need to handle in a more healthy way? That's like fraternal correction. Maybe we can do one on fraternal correction now that I think about that.
It's a big topic.
Yeah. As opposed to just holding it in. I know I struggle with that. I get angry, and instead of confronting it or praying about it, I'll just kind of let it sit in me, and then I just take it out by pouring Frosted Flakes on Father Hank's bed in the rectory. Messing up his bed, yeah.
I yelled at Father Emmanuel for that.
But let me read this quote from just a book that I just finished on the Beatitudes by Jacques Philippe. Jacques Philippe is a great author, by the way, and he's got short books. They're spiritual books, very, very much worthwhile. This one was called The 8 Doors of the Kingdom. And in the Beatitude on the meek, he says this, quote, "Yes, there is such a thing as holy anger. The Gospels sometimes show Jesus as angry. But this is never on his own behalf, but on behalf of little ones or fundamental spiritual realities such as the holiness of the temple. God's anger is always directed against what is bad for us. He's not angry for himself, but to protect people against themselves. But let's not imagine our own anger is always holy anger. Often we become angry under the pretext of defending something essential when we are only acting out of self-love or to protect our own interests. End quote. Isn't that interesting? Like,
Yeah.
he's basically saying Jesus gets angry, but it's not for himself. It's anger on behalf of someone else or some reality. And you think like most of our anger is about ourselves. Like that person didn't do the way things the way I like it, or that person cut me off, and that's an affront against me, versus an anger about like a genuine injustice in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You still there?
Oh yeah.
So-
Showing the tunes here. No, it's true. I mean, you can look at, if I get angry with somebody cutting me off, injustice to me, or like, hey, we have laws to abide when we're on the road to keep everyone safe. I'm angry about the injustice to the law.
So I found this interesting because a lot of people have been angry these days. Let's get a little political here. A lot of people have been angry about just the state of things in the world. The country, the election, protests, on both ends of the spectrum, right? So, and I don't know about you, I hear it a lot in the confessional, people angry. And I wish we could spend time really praying with our anger and thinking like, okay, is this from the Lord or is this from the devil? Okay, so abortion, take that for example. Abortion is an evil. We should be upset about that. We should try to work to the best of our ability against abortion. And like we should be angry about it, but should it lead to an unholy anger? And if it leads to an unholy anger, it's worth saying, okay, are we making this more about ourselves as opposed to the truth of like an innocent life being taken? Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I always judge myself, like if I'm getting angry about something in the world, a political state or an affair, is this more because like I'm personally offended, people that don't agree with me are insulting me, or is this because I'm genuinely concerned for the good that I believe is being wounded? And if the good is being wounded at the end of the day, when we go to bed at night, we should ultimately know like God's the one in charge, right? It's no good for me to go, like St. Paul says, to go to bed with this anger. Even though there is an injustice, I need to entrust it to God and surrender it to him and really believe and have faith that he's the one that's going to make this right and not my anger. There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, and I think if you take the topic of abortion, for example, the temptation with anger that I think a lot of dialogue or lack of dialogue that gets in with things about politics is that the other side quickly demonizes the other person. So somebody who's for pro-choice and stuff, or trying to uphold those laws, are we going to just demonize them? They're just an evil person. Well, we really have to back up a little bit and examine that this person might be trying to reach a good, but it's a misperception. They're mistaking an evil for a good, but they're trying to do the right thing, but it's misinformed mercy. It's a misinformed compassion.
Ooh, I like
if
that.
we can look at that objectively, then it kind of gives us a release from, okay, this person is just misinformed. They're not an evil person per se. And that opens up more room for dialogue and more room for mercy. And then it really becomes a fight for the truth, a fight for educating, and a fight for teaching, and not just trying to bash the other person. And ultimately, as you were saying, Father James, is that at the end of the day, God reigns supreme, Christ is king, and within our little world, with our little circle of life that God has given us, what can I do? How can I be a voice to help people relieve themselves of their anger, inform, educate, but not just like hate and bash on the other person.
Very good. I like that. Love your enemies, right? And I also like coming full circle, the Elton John reference. You said the circle of life with "Don't let the sun go down on me." So rage against the night, or don't rage against the night. God bless you, folks.
Peace.